Stop trying to live off of what God did last year, or 5 years ago, or however long it's been. A married couple that's still only talking about the honeymoon years into marriage has a problem. Because marriage is meant to get better and better. It's the same way with God. But when we begin to live our lives, every day slowly drawing further and further away from Him, all the while talking about what God did back then, or how close we were to Him at one time or another, we wind up parched, because you cannot live off of a feeling. And when you get into that impossible situation, a memory alone is not going to do you any good. You need God to be with you where you are. When the Israelites walked through the desert, God provided manna for them to eat. But one of the instructions that Moses gave the people was to not keep the manna overnight, but to let the old manna go in hopes of God providing new manna for the next day. Exodus 16:19 through 20 says, Moses said to them, "Let no man leave any of it until morning." But they did not listen to Moses, and some left part of it until morning. And it bred worms and became foul, and Moses was angry with them. When the manna was kept overnight, it spoiled and became useless for eating. Do you want to know why the Israelites disobeyed Moses and didn't listen to the man of God? It's because manna falling from heaven is a miracle. The Israelites received a miracle from God in that He fed them when they were hungry. But instead of letting go, they held on to that miracle because they failed to believe that He would perform a new miracle the next day. The reason we hold on to an experience with God from our past is because we fail to believe that He's going to do anything with our future. We spend time talking about what God did back then when we should be spending time talking with God. Hebrews 3:13 through 15 says, "But encourage one another day after day, as long as it is still called today, so that none of you will be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. For we have become partakers of Christ, if we hold fast the beginning of our assurance firm until the end. While it is said, 'Today if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts, as when they provoked me.'" It's so easy to live off of an experience with God and to forget that God wants to speak to us today. If you feel parched and your relationship with Jesus Christ has grown cold, then it's time to get up and to start running after Him like you did at the beginning. Do you know why God gave the Israelites new manna each day? It's because He promised to do so. And what He has promised us in Jeremiah 29:13 is this: "You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart." Stop trying to live off of yesterday and start seeking God right where you are, right now.